As the world changes, so do travel restrictions, and some countries may no longer welcome Indian travelers in 2024 and 2025, whether it's due to political tensions, health crises, or security concerns. The global landscape is shifting rapidly. In this evolving scenario, it's crucial to know where Indians might face barriers when trying to cross borders. These changes could impact not just casual tourists, but also students, professionals, and even families with ties in these countries. Let's explore the top 10 countries where Indians might find it challenging, if not impossible, to travel in the near future. Number 10. Turkey. Turkey has always been a land of fascination, where the East meets the West, offering a unique blend of cultures, histories, and landscapes. Indian tourists have long been enchanted by Turkey's vibrant bazaars, ancient ruins, and the stunning architecture of cities like Istanbul. However, recent developments have cast a shadow over this once-favored destination for Indian travelers. Diplomatic relations between Turkey and India have been on a downward trajectory, largely due to their opposing stances on various global issues, most notably the Kashmir conflict. Turkey's vocal support for Pakistan on this issue has not only strained diplomatic ties, but has also started to impact the ease with which Indians can travel to Turkey. The Turkish government has already begun tightening visa policies for Indian nationals, making it increasingly difficult to obtain the necessary documentation for travel. This growing diplomatic rift raises the possibility that Turkey could impose even stricter travel restrictions on Indians by 2025. For those who have always dreamed of wandering through the ancient city of Ephesus, exploring the fairy chimneys of Cappadocia, or enjoying the unique blend of cultures in Istanbul, such restrictions could be a major disappointment. Beyond tourism, these restrictions could also affect business travelers and those with familial ties in Turkey. As the diplomatic relationship between the two nations continues to cool, the impact on travel and personal connections could become more pronounced, potentially leading to a complete travel ban in the future. This would not only disrupt tourism, but could also sever important cultural and economic links between India and Turkey. Number 9. Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia has long been a significant destination for Indian workers, particularly in the construction, oil, and service industries. The kingdom's ambitious Vision 2030 plan aims to transform its economy by reducing its dependence on oil and expanding into other sectors such as tourism, entertainment, and technology. However, these reforms also include significant changes to the labor market, which could have far-reaching implications for Indian expatriates. As Saudi Arabia seeks to increase employment opportunities for its own citizens, known as Saudization, it has begun tightening regulations on work visas for foreign nationals, including those from India. The kingdom has already started to reduce the number of visas issued to foreign workers in certain sectors, and this trend is likely to continue as Saudi Arabia prioritizes its own workforce. In addition to these labor market reforms, Saudi Arabia's shifting geopolitical alliances could also influence future travel restrictions. The kingdom's evolving relationships with countries in the Middle East, particularly those that are not on friendly terms with India, could lead to stricter entry requirements for Indians. For the large Indian expatriate community in Saudi Arabia, a reduction in work visas would be particularly challenging. Many Indians have built their lives and careers in the kingdom, and any significant reduction in visa availability could disrupt not only their professional lives, but also their families' stability. Stricter entry requirements could also affect Indian Muslims who travel to Saudi Arabia for religious pilgrimages, such as Hajj and Umrah, making it more difficult for them to fulfill these important spiritual obligations. If these trends continue, Saudi Arabia could become a much less accessible destination for Indian nationals by 2025. The impact of these changes would be felt not only by those seeking work, but also by businesses and families who have long-standing ties with the kingdom. Number 8. China. The relationship between India and China has always been a complex one, characterized by a mix of competition, cooperation, and occasional conflict. However, in recent years, this relationship has grown increasingly strained, particularly due to ongoing border disputes in the Himalayas and growing economic competition on the global stage. The skirmishes along the India-China border, particularly in the Ladakh region, have led to a significant deterioration in relations between the two countries. These disputes are not just about territory. They reflect a broader strategic rivalry between India and China, each vying for influence in Asia and beyond. As tensions have escalated, China has responded by implementing more stringent visa regulations for Indian nationals. This includes increased scrutiny of visa applications, longer processing times, and in some cases, outright rejections. If the situation continues to escalate, it's conceivable that China could impose a complete travel ban on Indian nationals. Such a ban would have far-reaching implications, not only for trade and tourism, but also for educational exchanges between the two countries. China has been a popular destination for Indian students pursuing higher education, particularly in fields like medicine, engineering, and technology. A travel ban would disrupt the academic plans of thousands of students and could also affect Indian businesses with ties to China. The cultural and historical ties between India and China, dating back centuries, would also be impacted by such a ban. For tourists eager to explore the wonders of China, from the Great Wall to the Forbidden City, these restrictions would represent a significant loss. Moreover, a complete ban could further strain diplomatic relations between the two nations, making it difficult to resolve existing conflicts and collaborate on global issues. As China continues to assert its influence on the global stage, the possibility of increased travel restrictions for Indian nationals is a sobering reminder of the fragile nature of international relations and the far-reaching consequences of geopolitical rivalries. Number 7. Australia. Australia has long been a preferred destination for Indian students and professionals. The country's high-quality education system, strong job market, and multicultural society have attracted many Indians to its shores. But as Australia grapples with the economic fallout of the COVID-19 pandemic, it has begun to tighten its immigration policies in response to growing concerns about job security for locals. The Australian government is prioritising its own citizens in the job market, making it more difficult for foreign nationals, including Indians, to obtain work and student visas. These changes are part of a broader effort to manage population growth and ensure that immigration benefits the Australian economy. While a complete travel ban is unlikely, the Australian government may continue to introduce more stringent visa requirements, making it harder for Indians to enter the country for work, study, or even tourism. This could be particularly challenging for Indian students hoping to study in Australia, as they may face tougher competition for visas and fewer opportunities to work after graduation. Indian professionals seeking to migrate to Australia may also find it more difficult to secure long-term residency. For those who have long dreamed of building a life in Australia, these changes could represent a significant barrier, altering the landscape of opportunities that once seemed so promising. Number 6. Germany. Germany, one of Europe's leading economies, has been a magnet for Indian professionals and students for many years, offering a strong job market, world-class education, and a high standard of living. However, the rise of nationalism and increasing concerns about immigration across Europe have led to more restrictive policies both in Germany and at the EU level. In recent years, Germany has witnessed a rise in nationalist sentiment, partly in response to the large influx of refugees and migrants from conflict zones in the Middle East and Africa. This shift in public opinion has influenced immigration policies, leading to a more cautious approach to admitting foreign nationals, including those from India. As a member of the European Union, Germany is also subject to EU-wide regulations that impact immigration. These regulations have become increasingly stringent, reflecting broader concerns about security, integration, and the capacity of member states to absorb new arrivals. For Indian nationals seeking to work or study in Germany, these changes could make it more challenging to secure visas and residence permits. The impact on the Indian diaspora in Germany could be significant. Germany has a growing Indian community, particularly in cities like Berlin, Munich, and Frankfurt. Stricter immigration policies could make it harder for family members to visit or join their relatives in Germany, potentially disrupting family reunifications and long-term settlement plans. Additionally, Indian students and professionals may find it more difficult to secure the necessary permits to study or work in Germany, limiting their opportunities in Europe's largest economy. For tourists, the allure of Germany's rich cultural heritage, from the medieval castles along the Rhine River to the vibrant arts scene in Berlin, could be overshadowed by the complexities of navigating the country's immigration requirements. As Germany continues to balance its economic needs with public sentiment and EU regulations, the landscape for Indian nationals could become increasingly challenging in the years ahead. Number 5. Malaysia. Malaysia, with its diverse population and vibrant culture, has been a significant destination for Indian travelers, particularly those with familial or cultural ties to the country. However, rising ethnic tensions and shifts in domestic policies could lead to more stringent entry requirements for Indian nationals. Malaysia's multi-ethnic society includes a significant Indian minority, but this diversity has also led to periodic tensions between different communities. These tensions could influence immigration policies, making it more difficult for Indian nationals to enter the country. The Malaysian government has been known to change its immigration policies frequently, often in response to domestic political pressures. This unpredictability could result in tighter visa regulations for Indians, particularly in the context of regional politics and Malaysia's relationships with neighboring countries. For Indian tourists, stricter entry requirements could make it harder to visit Malaysia's popular destinations, such as Kuala Lumpur and Penang. Additionally, Indian businesses with interests in Malaysia could face challenges in securing visas for their employees, potentially impacting trade and investment between the two countries. The impact on tourism, business, and cultural connections could be significant, altering the way Indians engage with Malaysia in the future. Number 4. Canada. Canada has long been a preferred destination for Indian students, professionals, and immigrants. The country's welcoming immigration policies, high quality of life, and strong economy have made it a top choice for many Indians looking to study, work, or settle abroad. However, recent shifts in Canada's immigration policy suggest that the country might be moving towards a more selective approach. Canada has been experiencing rapid population growth, much of which is driven by immigration. While this growth has contributed to the country's economic success, it has also raised concerns about housing, infrastructure, and job availability. In response, the Canadian government is considering reforms to its immigration policies to ensure that they align with the country's long-term economic needs. Indian students make up a significant portion of the international student population in Canada. However, changes in student visa policies, including stricter eligibility criteria and reduced post-graduation work opportunities, could make it more difficult for Indian students to study in Canada. These changes may be aimed at managing the influx of international students and ensuring that the education system can accommodate them. For many Indians, studying or working in Canada is a pathway to permanent residency, PR. However, with potential changes to PR eligibility criteria and the points-based immigration system, it may become harder for Indians to qualify for PR status in the future. This could affect those who are already in Canada, as well as those planning to immigrate. Stricter immigration policies could also impact Indian families looking to reunite in Canada and skilled workers seeking to enter the Canadian job market. The government may prioritize immigrants with specific skills that are in high demand, potentially limiting opportunities for others. For those dreaming of a new life in Canada, these changes could represent significant obstacles, challenging the traditional appeal of the Canadian dream. Number 3. United Kingdom. The United Kingdom has undergone significant changes since Brexit, and its immigration policies have been a major area of focus. The UK has traditionally been a top destination for Indian students, professionals, and tourists, but the post-Brexit environment has led to a more cautious approach to immigration. With Brexit, the UK has regained full control over its immigration policies, leading to a shift towards a points-based system that prioritizes skilled workers. While this system is designed to attract talent, it also places restrictions on who can enter the country, potentially making it more difficult for Indian nationals to qualify for visas. The UK government has introduced stricter visa requirements, including higher language proficiency standards and more rigorous financial criteria. These changes could affect Indian students seeking to study in the UK, as well as professionals looking to work in sectors that are not prioritized under the new system. Indian nationals who have traditionally relied on the UK for education, employment, or family reunification may find it more challenging to secure visas. The UK's focus on reducing net migration could result in fewer opportunities for Indians to move to or visit the country. Economic uncertainty in the UK, compounded by the challenges of Brexit, has also led to concerns about job security and economic stability. This uncertainty could influence immigration policies further, with the UK government potentially becoming more selective about who it allows to enter and stay in the country. For those with aspirations of studying at a prestigious British university, working in London's financial district, or simply experiencing the culture of the UK, these changes could make those dreams more difficult to realize. Number 2. United States. The United States has always been a major destination for Indian nationals, particularly those seeking opportunities in education, technology, and healthcare. However, recent changes in US immigration policies, particularly regarding the H-1B visa program, have raised concerns about the future of Indian migration to the US. The H-1B visa is a critical pathway for Indian professionals, especially in the tech industry, to work in the US. However, the program has come under increased scrutiny in recent years, with calls for reforms to prioritize American workers and limit the number of H-1B visas issued. These reforms could include higher salary thresholds, more rigorous eligibility criteria, and stricter enforcement of visa regulations. In addition to changes in the H-1B visa program, the US has also tightened its immigration policies in response to security concerns, particularly in the context of global terrorism and cybersecurity threats. This has led to increased vetting of visa applicants and longer processing times, making it more challenging for Indian nationals to secure visas. Indian professionals who have traditionally relied on the H-1B visa to work in the US may find it more difficult to obtain or renew their visas. This could lead to a decline in the number of Indians working in the US, particularly in the tech sector. For Indian students seeking to study in the US, these changes could mean stricter visa requirements and higher costs. Additionally, Indian tourists planning to visit the US may encounter more rigorous entry procedures and longer wait times for visa approval. As the US continues to reassess its immigration policies, Indian nationals may find it increasingly difficult to navigate the complex visa process, impacting their ability to pursue the American dream. Number 1. Pakistan. It's no surprise that Pakistan tops the list of countries where Indian nationals might face the most severe travel restrictions. The relationship between India and Pakistan has been fraught with tension for decades, and recent developments suggest that the situation could worsen. The historical and political animosities between India and Pakistan have resulted in a complex and often hostile relationship. These tensions have been exacerbated by issues such as the Kashmir conflict, cross-border terrorism, and diplomatic disputes. Pakistan already imposes strict travel restrictions on Indian nationals, requiring special permissions and lengthy visa processes. These restrictions are often implemented in response to political developments and security concerns. Given the ongoing tensions, it's conceivable that Pakistan could impose a near-total travel ban on Indian nationals by 2025. This would mean that only a select few, such as diplomats or individuals with special permissions, would be allowed to enter the country. A complete travel ban would have profound implications for Indian families with ties to Pakistan, as well as for pilgrims who travel to Pakistan for religious reasons. It would also further strain diplomatic relations between the two countries, making any future reconciliation even more difficult. For those with family members across the border, or for those wishing to visit important religious sites in Pakistan, a total travel ban would be a deeply personal and painful development. As we look ahead to 2025, the prospect of travel bans and stricter immigration policies is a sobering reminder of how global dynamics can impact individual lives. For Indian nationals, staying informed and proactive is essential in navigating these challenges. While the possibility of travel restrictions may seem daunting, it also underscores the importance of fostering positive international relationships and advocating for fair and equitable immigration policies. In this rapidly changing world, understanding the reasons behind these potential bans and preparing for the challenges ahead will be crucial for Indian travelers. Whether it's staying updated on travel advisories, considering alternative destinations, or ensuring all travel documents are in order, being proactive is key. These are the 10 countries where Indians may face the most significant travel restrictions in 2024 and 2025. It's a stark reminder of how global politics and policies can affect us all, but also a call to remain vigilant and prepare for whatever the future may bring.